This is the Phillies Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Philadelphia Phillies. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Ba-da-ba. Welcome to the show, everybody. There we go. Nice to see you. My name is Mark Farzetta. This right here is Locked On Phillies. Postcast after the Phillies snap their another 2-game losing streak. They won't get to 3. Oh, no, baby. They're not getting to 3. Thanks to Alec Bohm coming alive in this game. A little double last night. RBI single. Give the Phillies the lead in this one. Bryce Harper's 2-run home run. Jesus Luzardo. We've seen better. We've seen better from him. And JT Realmuto getting his first home run of the season. Just clearing the wall in center field. Left center field, the angle wall. Love to see that for JT Realmuto to get that going. 2 hits, 2 RBIs for him tonight. It is a fantastic thing. And 2 things that really run away with this for me is that the bullpen over 3 2/3 only allowed 1 run. And this Phillies lineup only struck out twice. That's it. This Phillies lineup only struck out twice in today's ball game. Not too bad. I know that's hard to believe, so let me just start out with the box score. There it is. Nick Castellanos struck out once. Brandon Marsh also struck out once, and that was it. How about that for this Phillies team? Welcome in to Locked On Phillies Postcast. Once again, my name is Mark Farzetta. I got you covered for your postcast needs. Connor Thomas has you covered each and every day for your Locked On Phillies podcast on Locked On Phillies Daily Podcast, part of the Locked On Sports Network. Let's start it off with 3 big things right out of the gate. Number 1, been hypercritical of Alec Bohm. No, I shouldn't say hypercritical because people have definitely topped me in the negativity and just flat out get him off the team type of mentality when it comes to Alec Bohm. I've never been because of how he's played now, I've never been, get him out of here. Oh, he needs to be, he's shipped off. He needs to be, bench him for the whole year. It's Mundo Sosa's job. I have suggested, as recent as last night, give him a break. I don't think he's going to swing his way out of this one. Over the last 2 games, now today I believe he swung at the first pitch twice, one of which became the RBI single, I think it was. I'll go back and look at it, but he swung at the first pitch in 2 different at-bats tonight, but still got the RBI single to put you ahead in this game. That's clutch for him. We're not used to seeing that recently with Alec Bohm. That's literally his first RBI in forever. So watching him go out there tonight and actually have some success, see him get frustrated still on his last at-bat of the game where he grounded out to second, I think it was. You see the frustration on him. Or no, it was the chopper to shortstop. You see the frustration on him. But the double that he had was a ball that he absolutely – the single that he had was a ball that he absolutely barreled up tonight. So it was great to see that for Alec Bohm. Number 2, Bryce Harper. Look, you come away – with the game-winning home run, 2-run home run. He got a 3-0 slider that came down and in. And I heard on the broadcast, I forget who it was that said it, but I think it was Rube that said, this is what you get with Bryce Harper because you got Kyle Schwarber batting behind him. I'm like, that's a slider that is not meant to be hit. That's not a fastball. All right, well, I got Kyle Schwarber on next, so I guess I got to pitch to Bryce Harper. No, he threw him a slider that cut down and in, and Bryce Harper just met it right where it was supposed to be met. And that ball hung in the air in the 7th inning for, it felt like an hour. Like, I know the wind was crazy tonight at Citizens Bank Park, but that 2-run home run by Bryce Harper in the 7th inning that ended up being the difference in the ball game, that hung in the air forever before it landed about 6 or 7 rows back in the right field stands. But great to see that for Bryce Harper, his 3rd home run of the season. And, there was definitely one part of the night where if you would have said, hey, is Bryce Harper going to be the player of the game? I'd say no, absolutely not. How can he be the player of the game after he had that horrific base running blunder earlier in the ballgame? That was the 3rd inning. That was dumb. We'll get to that later because right now we're happy. We're being happy. That's Phillies won this game 6-4. And the 3rd thing I'm going to look at today, the bullpen. Full marks for the bullpen today, getting the job done. Jesus Luzardo, 90 pitches over 5 1/3 innings of work, 5 hits, 3 runs. All of them earned, by the way. Gave up a walk, 4 strikeouts. Orion Kerkering came in. I believe a run crossed the plate on his watch but not charged to him when he took over for Jesus Luzardo there in the 6th inning. But then Jordan Romano goes out there, scoreless inning with a strikeout. Jose Alvarado needs 30 pitches to get through that 8th inning of work, but gives up 3 hits and an earned run. Now, here's one thing. He got a bit of a tight strike zone, to say the least. After last night's gaffe with JT Realmuto at the plate and Tony Randazzo behind the plate, he messed up. But after that, and then watching this pitch to Lee, which should have been a 1-2 called third strike, 1-2 pitch called third strike, I wouldn't even say it was on the outside corner against Lee. I would say it was on the outer half of the plate, not even the corner, outer half of the plate at the knees. A great pitch by Jose Alvarado. Ignored. Next thing you know, Lee goes up there. He gets a single to right field, an RBI single to right field. That was the one official run that was charged to the Phillies bullpen. And it was a 1-2 sinker that he threw that was on the outer half of the plate. Lee took the pitch. Later worked, I believe it was a full count. And then he delivered a RBI single to right field to make it a 6-4 ball game. Then after that, Alvarado gets Chapman to pop out to second base at Bryson Stott. Then he gets Flores chasing a high cutter, just well out of the zone, sits him down, and then Schmidt steps up to the plate, and he flies out to deep center field, where Brandon Marsh was waiting on the warning track for a ball that just kept carrying, giving me heart palpitations as it was going on. But anyway, it still was a 6-4 game after that. Phillies go down in order after the bottom of the 8th inning, and then Matt Strahm needs just 7 pitches to get through the 9th inning. So that right there are the 3 big things in reverse: bullpen, Harper, Bohm. That's what I look at in tonight's ball game. And as for the player of the game,
this is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Again, I wouldn't have thought, have I let that the whole time? Miss Guzzi. A serious Miss Guzzi on that one. Bryce Harper is our player of the game today. When you get hit what ends up being the game-winning home run, and I'll say this, as long as it was anybody stepping up to deliver the game-winning home run, I was going to give it to Alec Bohm, because I thought the idea of him actually getting you a victory, albeit it would have been a 1-run victory, when he had that RBI single in the 6th inning to bring home Nick Castellanos. First of all, also good job by Nick Castellanos not getting picked off at second base. We'll get to that. But Alec Bohm delivering the RBI single that gave you the lead. If that would have been the difference in the game and that would have been the winning run for the Phillies, he would have absolutely been the player of the game. And look, I couldn't help but watch his post-game interview right before I came into the studio here and started talking about the game with you. Like, I really do like Alec Bohm. And I know players go through slumps. He just looked like a guy that wasn't going to find his own way out of it. And I was waiting for Rob Thompson to intervene and, hey, why don't you take a seat? Because he's been getting pitches to hit. He's been missing them. The RBI single that he got in the 6th inning was a ball out over the middle of the plate that he absolutely barreled up. He has not been barreling up pitches. Barreled up one last night for his double. Still great to see. Barreled up a single tonight. Now you're talking about 3 of the last 4 games he's played in, he's gotten a hit, albeit one of the games was that infield single against St. Louis, of course. But still, hey, 3 hits out of his last 4 days is a better trajectory than we have seen from Alec Bohm for the majority of this young season. So it would have been him for the player of the game, but when Bryce Harper stepped up there and had the opportunity to be different, and here's the thing, whenever I look at Bryce Harper, he's supposed to be the difference maker. Like, I need that couple of weeks in the season, a month in the season, where all of a sudden it's simply, oh my goodness, Bryce Harper is just carrying this team. I need that. And over the skids that they've had in the last 2-game losing streaks, or 2 series in a row that they lost, now still have an opportunity to win this series, this 4-game series with the Giants. Bryce Harper goes up there in the 7th inning, and I'm waiting for that moment where he's going to win you a game. Phillies are up at this point 4-3. In the 7th inning, Birdsong comes on in relief for the San Francisco Giants. Bryson Stott leads off with a triple on a 1-2 fastball. He gets down and in, delivers it down the right field line, and he's hustling the whole way. Trey Turner steps up, grounds out to short. Bryson Stott has to hold. He has to hold at third base. Bryce Harper goes up in the count 3-0 on Birdsong. He gets that slider down and in and just gets the barrel of the bat around to loft that ball into the air 341 feet down the right field line for the home run. It was great. It was great to get a big hit like that, especially after a base running blunder that he had earlier in the game. I've referenced it once or twice, so let me just go to it right now, okay? Third inning. This is where I had some concerns about the Phillies, despite the fact that they had already jumped out to a 2-0 lead, thanks in part to JT Realmuto's first home run of the season to left center field in the second inning. Brandon Marsh getting a sac fly RBI. Way to go. 2-0 Phils, just like that. Max Kepler had another extra base hit. Good to see that in the second inning. And then in the third inning, Jesus Luzardo sits down Bailey on all fastballs. 5 fastballs, sits him down, strikes him out. Fitzgerald steps up. He gets a single to center field. Ramos grounds into what was that? The Harper. That was the Harper drop. So Harper lets the ball drop. Still gets the 3-6 put out. Then Adames comes up there and he pops out to shortstop. Third inning, Phillies looking to do some more damage. Trey Turner leads off with a walk. It was an 0-2 count. He makes it a 3-2 count, and he draws the walk. Bryce Harper steps up there. While he's at the plate, I think it was the 1-2 pitch. Trey Turner takes off for second base, and honestly, it was all the most perfect situation to get Trey Turner stealing second. Not only was the throw to second base absolutely perfect by Bailey, I think it was, the pitch to throw on from Justin Verlander was perfect. High in the zone, fastball, don't need a pop time on that. He's already up, and he fires a second, and he gets Trey Turner on a bang-bang play at second base. However, then Bryce Harper walks, so Trey Turner would have been in scoring position anyway, most likely. But now you got 2 walks in the inning. You got 2 walks in the inning. Okay? Keep that in mind. How many walks? Not 1, but 2 walks in the inning. Kyle Schwarber steps up, hits a fly ball, not that long, not that deep, to center field, where Lee is waiting. And I'm watching Lee on this play, and I'm like, he knows he has Harper at first base. Like, he knows he's got to play this quick because Harper likes to take advantage of it. Literally the thought I had at the time. And then I saw Lee gear up to throw, and I went, oh, Harper's going. And then I hear T-Mac, here comes Bryce Harper. And I'm like, that seems dumb. That seems like a terrible idea. Try to tag to second on a fly ball to center field, and it looks like he was waiting for you to already do it. Sure enough, I almost expected Bryce Harper to get caught in a rundown because he was that dead to rights at second base. There's aggressive, the little dribblers that just squeak into the shallow right field that Bryce Harper will hit, that he busted around first and he'll get a double out of it. The hustle double, I like to call it. That's aggressive. That's good base running, man. Way to be aware. I haven't played MLB The Show in a while. I haven't played any Major League Baseball video game in quite some time, but I know in Madden there's an awareness rating, and the worst rating you could have is a 12. This was a Madden rating awareness 12 of Bryce Harper to try to take that base. It was dumb. It wasn't aggressive. It was just really stupid. So the fact that he made up for it later in the ballgame, way to be, Bryce. But that was just infuriating, waiting at that point for the Phillies to give runs back. And they ended up giving some runs back, unfortunately, in the top of the 4th inning. So anyway, I mentioned how many walks were there in that inning? There were 2 walks in that inning. In the top of the bottom of the 3rd inning, there were 2 walks. There were 2 walks in the inning, and Justin Verlander faced the minimum. Only our Phillies, right? Only our Phillies. All right. When we come back, I want to take your comments on this game. We'll also talk about the turning point of this game, as well as what you guys will be kicking around tomorrow. That's when we return here on Locked On Phillies Postcast. Oh, boy. FanDuel with the NBA playoffs getting underway. Oh, it's going to be a good time, the NBA playoffs. FanDuel giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action right now. When you join FanDuel and place a $5 bet, your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. I love FanDuel. I have a great time with FanDuel. FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking my favorite team or whether it's player props, rebounds, whatever, parlays, 3-pointers. You always have a great time with FanDuel. So don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com right now. That's FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today with the great people of FanDuel at FanDuel.com. Prize Picks, a lot of fun. You're talking about the postseason when it comes to not only hoops, but also hockey. Prize Picks, it's where it's at. All that stuff's going to be heating up in the not-too-distant future. No better way to turn your sports knowledge into real rewards than with Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. with Prize Picks. You simply pick more or less on at least two player stat projections, and just like that, you're in, baby. You can even combine players across sports, basketball, hockey, baseball, and so much more for your chance to win up to 2,000 times your cash. Love it. If you're in Philly, maybe you'll take a look at Jason Tatum, expecting him to hit some overs. You know what I mean? To get more. Have the mores as opposed to the lesses. We hope for the lesses, unless you're picking less for him. Luka Doncic maybe having himself a time. Maybe Connor McDavid in the playoffs goes off. You can ride the coattails of all these guys when it comes to Prize Picks. Again, just pick more or less on their stat projections, and you can have yourself a good time. Download the app and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Without further ado, how do we know that the Phillies were going to win this game?
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
I'm going to go back to it when we talk about that sixth inning and Alec Bohm's RBI single that gave the Phillies the lead. Now, Bryce Harper led off that inning, flying out to left field, followed by Kyle Schwarber getting a single to right field. Nick Castellanos followed Schwarber with back-to-back singles there. He put a single to left field, a little humpback liner over the shortstop. You got first and second with one out. Got to get something out of this, Phillies. You're down 3-2 at this point in the ballgame. JT Realmuto steps up to the plate. He hits a long fly ball to left field. Ramos in left is in pursuit on, again, a windy night in South Philadelphia. Ramos tries to make a play on the baseball. He does not. JT Realmuto gets credited for not just a single, but an RBI single because Kyle Schwarber at second base read the play perfectly and made his way around third base to score the run. Now all of a sudden it's a tie ball game 3-3. You need the lead. You need the lead. Kepler goes up there. He lines out to shortstop. Fortunately, this is the situation here in the sixth inning where Nick Castellanos is now on second base after the single by JT Realmuto, and Schwarber scored. Casty's now on second base with the line out by Kepler to short. Casty this close to getting doubled off second base, but he hustled back to the bag and did not get doubled off, setting the stage for Alec Bohm to put the Phillies in front. Alec Bohm stepped up and delivered that RBI single to left field to bring home Nick Castellanos and give the Phillies a 4-3 lead. From that point on, Bryce Harper took care of the rest with his 2-run home run, and the bullpen was able to, I won't even say leak. They allowed a run. That's it. And Jose Alvarado. But other than that, things were coming up roses for your Phillies. As far as what you'll be kicking around tomorrow,
this is what you'll be talking about.
I think you're going to be talking about Alec Bohm. I think you're going to be talking about Alec Bohm. And I just know us, Philly, and boy, I love us. I really do. You'll be talking a little bit about Bryce Harper there in the third inning, that base running situation there. That won't be so great. That won't be so great. But I think you'll be talking about Alec Bohm. You'll be talking about JT Realmuto's home run, just making it out of the ballpark. And I think you'll also be talking about the fact that Bryce Harper did deliver when the team needed him. Let's get into the chat check and see how you guys are doing on this fine Tuesday morning following a Phillies victory. You know what? Before I do the chat, let me just say this. We say this after every win, after a little rough patch here. You win one tomorrow. We invoke Lou Brown. You win one tomorrow. That's 2 in a row. You win the next one. That's 3. That's what's called a winning streak. It has happened before. All right, now we'll get into it. Christopher Michael, hello. Oh, thank God. Great game. My heart needed that. Bats look solid today. Positives outweighed the negatives. By far they did. Pat Ryan, nice win. Everyone did a little bit tonight. Yeah, even Brandon Marsh. Will sack fly RBI. How about that? By the way, let me just pause it right here. Not to, again, be negative here, but the Brandon Marsh didn't get an opportunity to pinch hit last night. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't like, man, where's Brandon Marsh? He needs to pinch hit. No, I was not at all. But last night, or let's rewind it 2 days. 2 days, Rob Thompson's like, yeah, we're going to give Brandon Marsh some time away from the game. We're going to give him some time. We're going to give him a little break. We're going to give him some time to clear his head. So last night, he's not in the starting lineup. Johan Rojas was. So it was fun to watch him strike out 3 times, anyway. Well, the Phillies as a whole team struck out fewer times today than Johan Rojas alone last night. Okay, anyway, I said I'd get off the negative. So anyway, back on the positive. I just don't understand what Rob Thompson's thinking here with Brandon Marsh when he says, I'm going to give him time to get away from the game and, clear his head. He's not even going to pinch hit last night. And then here he is in the starting lineup. Well, don't understand. Anyway, Evelyn. Hello, Evelyn. Woohoo. Look good today. Have to say, loving Stott and Lido. Look, I know that it makes me look like a big fat idiot, but when this lineup came out and debuted against the Giants, against the Redbirds, against the Cardinals, I went, ooh, I like this lineup. I like this lineup a lot. And then that lineup got shut out twice in one series. So I'm like, I just better shut up about this lineup. I'm like, no, I don't care. I can't help how I feel. I love it. I love the way this lineup is organized. Love it. I know people will look at the Harper and Schwarber and think, oh, lefty. I'm like, I don't care. I've seen the only Phillies World Series I've ever seen them win in my lifetime was when you had a lefty right there in the 3 and 4 spots. One guy's name was Chase Utley. The other guy's name was Ryan Howard. It kind of worked out. Plus, how many times are we going to watch the same thing with this Phillies lineup and then expect a different result? I believe that's Einstein's definition of insanity. But thank you, Evelyn. Bandman 100. Man, does that feel good? Finally, a really solid showing by the offense. Alvy. Are we going with Alvy full-time now with Jose Alvarado? I heard it a lot tonight. Alvy giving everyone a heart attack as usual, right? John Messina. Hello. Nice team win. Pat Ryan. No more 30-pitch innings, Jose. No bueno. Jeremy, what's up? These umps suck. Way to go, Alvarado, for overcoming a terrible call and adding the extra dozen pitches or so thrown. Alec Bohm coming through with a clutch 2-out RBI hit. You know, there was one other instance. Who was it? Oh, it was when Luzardo was still in the game. It was the Chapman walk. Luzardo starts the 6th inning at 82 pitches. He gets Adames to pop out to second. Lee gets the double to right field. Chapman comes up and offers at a 3-1 pitch. He swung. And they appealed it. It's like, no swing, he's safe. And he walks. Now you got first and second with 1 out. Luzardo's out. Kerkering comes in. Flores is in there, works a 3-2 count. There's a wild pitch with runners on second and third. He grounds out to short, run scores, and then he strikes out Schmidt for, the final out of the game on that sweeper. Final out of the game, I wish. Final out, I don't wish, because the Phillies were down at that point, 3-2. But gets Schmidt to strike out on the sweeper. Kerkering and Luzardo were really dialing up some nasty sweepers tonight, that's for sure. But yeah, that was in the 6th inning. So that was another situation, another example of the umpires sticking it to us. Romano, Bohm with a clutch RBI this game. I was like, oh my God, he finally did something. Yay! For the people just listening on the podcast later, I read that quote from the chat check as it was written. I thought it was a perfect rendition of the writers, in this case, Realmuto's. I think that's exactly the inflection he wanted. All right. Bandman 100, hello again. Feel great for Bohmer. There you go. Bohm going cold combined with lack of power was why we were having troubles with runners in scoring position. Oh, you know what? Let's be fair here. I didn't even think about this. What was the final when it came to runners in scoring position tonight? 3 for 10. Meh. A lot better than what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? Morgan Landy, hello. Great win. Let's build on this. Yeah, that's right. Let's build on it. Buddy Christ, solid win. Thank you, Buddy Christ. Bohmer even got a hit. There we go. Bullpen, not a problem. Philly and 8, what's going on tonight was like a special Oprah giveaway show. Marsh gets a juice box. Bohm gets a juice box. Everyone gets a juice box. Was that not the best part of Little League? Juice box and orange peels, snacks. You know what I mean? Romano looked great once again, which is encouraging. Thank you. All right, great. Let's go. Oh, Freezer, what's going on? Timothy Villofar, is that a good comeback win for the boys tonight? Hey, go. Thaddeus, it's a long season, but we'll take the dub, right? I have no hope for Marsh, though. Neither do I. Farzi, I know you miss Austin Hayes, but I like the Kepler guy. I do not miss Austin Hayes at all. At all. Don't miss that guy. Don't miss him at all. By the way, that's another dumb move by Dave Dombrowski. Here's my take on Dave Dombrowski. Dave Dombrowski is going to the Baseball Hall of Fame. That's going to happen. But the last 2 years, like Whit Merrifield, Austin Hayes, I don't even remember because I can't remember if he was a reverse splits guy or not. But I just remember thinking, they were like, he could come here and he could hit righties. I'm like, I don't think he can hit righties. They're like, no, you wait, he can hit righties. He's not going to hit righties. He didn't hit righties. That was not a great one. Luzardo, definitely a good pickup, obviously. Kepler is a definite upgrade over Hayes and Merrifield. Jeremy, I concur. LK Time, hello. Phillies always blow a lead, but always get it back. Always get it back when I watch? Well, then can you watch a little more, LK Time? Do us all a favor. Land on Airlines, hello. Sorry for not tuning in for a while. Yeah, come on. Where you been? I'm so happy the Phillies won today. I'm so glad that Bohm broke out of the drought and Bryce homered. Right? There we go. Jeremy just laughing. We're just laughing. Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful as per usual. Let's get to what's going on tomorrow, and that's your Philadelphia Phillies once again taking on these San Francisco Giants. Game 3 of the 4 game set on Wednesday evening, 6:45 start time. Robbie Ray, the lefty, gets the start against Aaron No-Win Nola. Complete reverse. When you talk about wins and losses here, Robbie Ray 3-0 with a 2.93 ERA. Aaron Nola, I think you know his record. He's 0-3 with a 5.51 ERA. Nola has 17 strikeouts in 16 and a third innings of work. Robbie Ray, 13 strikeouts in 15 and a third, giving up just 9 hits in that time. But he has walked 10. Can we get a little bit more patience again tomorrow? Please and thank you. Oh, that was one thing I wanted to double check for you guys because, you know, I referenced this earlier in the show, and I want to make sure I have this right. Let me get to Bomer's RBI single. Bing, bang, boom. Yep, first pitch single. Yep, 95-mile-per-hour fastball over the heart of the plate. He did not miss it. Love to see it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Again, this is Locked On Phillies postcast on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Connor Thomas has you covered when it comes to your Locked On Daily Phillies podcast. And I got you covered for your Locked On Phillies postcasts. Also, while we're all here as Philadelphia sports fans, don't forget to go over to Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. You got my guys there doing the daily podcast, doing a great job breaking it down. But me, Jason Martinez, and Harry Mays have you covered for a brand new 2-episode-a-week Eagles Squad podcast, where the three of us just talk birds for an hour. We'll have some guests along the way. We'll have ourselves a good time. But make sure you guys go over to Locked On Eagles YouTube channel and make sure you guys subscribe. And you can see Harry, Jason, and I, as well as our daily podcast guys, breaking it down with the Eagles all week long. Harry and I, as well as Jason Martinez, have you covered 2 times a week with a Locked On Eagles Squad podcast. So don't miss that as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Be back with you guys tomorrow after the 6:45 start time. And I'm saying it. I'm doing it. I'm believing it. Aaron Nola's first win of the season. Let's go, baby. I'm going to will it into existence. Pray for it. Pray for me. Pray for me and my hope. Thank you very much. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.